With number 3, a discussion of proposed charter amendment 17-CR-02, which proposes to extend municipal voting rights to non-U.S. citizens, including 2 specific issues, whether to include this question as an advisory question on the November 7th ballot, and whether to amend the charter amendment by authorizing only green card holders and to vote in city elections.
If you are going to place a question or questions on the referendum ballot in November, then the wording of that is purely up to the council as to what will be placed on the ballot.
We're going to have a new digital voting system, and that should be possible. I think I asked this question, but just want to confirm, and for the residents who have been watching, they should know that this is possible.
Yes, we don't have a new digital voting system. We're using the same system we used at our last election.
If you see this issue as a civil rights issue, there's no way we as a council should put this on a referendum.
Civil rights should not be decided by referendum. If that were the way that civil rights would be decided, then many of us at this table would not have the right to vote.
My understanding after the last meeting was that some language was going to be circulating for our consideration, and I haven't seen any such language for us to consider up until this point.
I've been asked whether or not it was multiple part questions could be placed on the ballot. My response is yes, so long as it fulfills the other requirements that they be clear, concise, that there be no confusion about what the voters are being asked to vote on. That's paramount.
If the council decides one way or another, and there is, I think I would say there is no reason to have this referendum at this point. Probably, it might be a good idea to have the referendum first, vote on referendum first, and then go for voting.
I guess the real question is, are we even going to do this in a referendum style? And
that would be the question next week.
Yeah.
One of the questions next
do a
week.
straw vote now.
Well, we could do
A straw vote on.
Whether or not we want this to go to a referendum or not.
Yeah, I find this a little disturbing and puzzling, because if we're going to talk about amendments to the motion, I think we should be discussing them now. I mean, I don't have any amendments to make, but if my colleagues have any, I wish they would bring them up now, because, you know, this is an issue that is so huge and has such tremendous impact, you know, on our community, and we've seen how it's kind of tearing people apart, tearing the community apart, that, you know, we should discuss this as much as possible. And I hate to bring it up, but hey, you know, we've discussed the fence situation for 2 years. I know that was painful, and we still haven't resolved that. So, I mean, this is something that we really need to be discussing now. And I asked at one of our last sessions, when are we going to discuss this? And that, you know, and I'm told, oh, we'll discuss it on the dais. You know, that's, you know, now is the time, you guys, to discuss it. You know, there are so many issues that we need to consider if we're going to go ahead with any part of this. I mean, and this is not going to just impact us, College Park. It's going to impact the county. It's going to impact the state. You don't think so right now, but trust me, in the next 5, 10, 20 years, it's going to impact us all.